CMPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
These are the signs of love making. Signs of love making. These are the signs of love making. Signs of love making.
Of course I am. Now, where am I looking? Welcome back to another episode of Straight to the Point. Tonight's guest is none other than Miss Jennifer Frazier. She is currently the president for the Bureau of Trainer. Am I saying that correctly? Yes. Okay. So let's welcome Miss Frazier to Straight to the Point, guys. Yay! Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, how's it been hanging?
It's been rough.
It's been rough?
It's been rough.
It's been rough. I can imagine.
Since the very beginning, it's been rough. Just trying to open some doors, and change some mindsets that have been set in a certain way for a very long time.
Oh, that's right. So, who is Jennifer Frazier, the professional, versus Jennifer Frazier, the mom?
Jennifer Frazier, the professional, is me just wanting to fight for everybody and protect everybody and help everybody. I've always been placed in the position to help others, since I was a teenager pretty much, and I enjoy doing it, and that, is something that I just love doing. So, growing up as a kid, I didn't have it easy. So me not having it easy made me want to help others, especially the youth.
So you've always been sprinkling your black girl magic.
Yeah.
Basically. So yeah, as I just previously discussed, you're currently the president of the Bureau of Counselor and Trainer Bureau. So how has that been thus far?
Since I've become the president, it's been fine. Now, when I first got on council, there was a lot of issues with the people that were on there for years that didn't want me on there. It was a fight to get on there, where they actually did a recount of the election and everything else the first time I ran, and they wanted me to get a lawyer. But I'm like, you know what? It's not my time. I'm gonna let it go. And I went back and I did more research, educated myself more on elections, came back, and I was the top vote getter for the next election.
Oh, wait, let's rewind here. So you ran.
Yeah.
They basically contested it.
Yeah, because my name was spelt wrong on a couple of the write-ins.
Oh, wow.
And that cost me but it was crazy because they already announced me to be the winner, had me in the newspaper as the winner, and weeks later, they came back and said, okay, we did a recount, which I thought was odd. And they're like, well, you have to get a lawyer. We can't do anything. And I'm like, well, I don't have money for that. I'm a mother of 6 daughters. I got to wait. I got kids in college and everything. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take it as it not being my time. So I took a step back and I did some research, still continued to go to the meetings, still continued to be involved. And I came back, and like I said, I was the top vote getter for the next election.
So how did that process in itself make you feel? Because I know you said, let me go do my research. I'm going to come back stronger.
Right.
But how did that make you feel in that moment to already feel like I had it and now they pulled it away from me?
It really bothered me a lot, but I'm used to things being taken away from me, and I try to use that as a learning experience every time I lose anything. not as a loss, more so as a learning experience. So I said, okay, next time I know, I'm going to make sure I have my stamps ready for, nobody's going to write anything wrong because I'm having my stamps. And I did the research on, everything that I felt as though went wrong or could have been done better. So that way the mistakes wouldn't happen again.
So reiterate the audience on what do you mean by my stamps? Because we're not
Okay.
talking about
Not
SNAP
stamps.
benefits. So
No,
reiterate to them what you mean by stamps.
My
Oh, wait, hold that
stamps.
thought, because I want y'all to realize what she's about to say. Because we currently have 3 people that's running in this city in this upcoming election as write-ins. So this is very important. So if any of their people are on this live, I need you to go back, tag, share, tell them to get on and listen to what this professional is about to tell them, because this is very important. And go ahead.
Yeah, because that can definitely cost you the election. If somebody spells your name wrong, or if they use a nickname or anything of that sort, that's going to cost you, and they can contest it. And what I did the second time around was I had the stamps. So I had bought 10 stamps. I wasn't playing. I had 10. I went to Staples. They make them at Staples, so your local Staples can do it for you, and they're not expensive at all. But make sure you have the right measurements of the ballot space, and that should be on the election website as well. And I can go back and share that link with you once I go and find it again. But it was a couple years ago. But it was there on the election website, and I found the exact space that the stamp has to get stamped in, and it came out clear. My name was never going to be spelled wrong. I had to worry about that. So that was a big relief. The only thing I had to watch was when you send somebody in with your stamps, make sure they come out and give it back to you, because people walk off with them.
Wow.
And that's why I bought so many, because you have to keep an eye on them, because they'll take them to be smart and try to make you lose the election. So there's a lot of stuff. You just got to really have people around you that you trust that can be your eyes, because you have to be there to talk to the people. So you need that support. You need people around you that you trust to, keep an eye on your stamps. One person assigned to this, one person assigned to that. I've always had my daughters were always by my side. I got 6, so I'm like, you do this, you do that. And they don't mind. They love it. It's something that teaches them, too, as well. And even if they're not going to be politicians, it teaches them how to, make sure everything is in line. And if you have an experience like I did the first time, how to come back stronger and, better, and know what you're doing the next time. So
for those of you that doesn't know in the audience, Ms. Frazier is running for school board. So what are you?
Chichester.
Huh?
Make sure they know in Chichester.
Yeah, Chichester School Board. Yes, Chichester. So what are you giving up from your current position to run for the school board?
So,
or should I rephrase that a little bit? What would you be giving up, and what would you benefit?
It took me a while to think about this and see if I really wanted to give up my position, because I love what I do in Trainer. I love to see how far we came as a unit in Trainer. I'm giving up my council seat in general and my position as council president, which, I've been able to make some major moves for Trainer that we would never even think about happening with the people that were sitting before me and my team came in. And that was a big deal to me, to not just get me on, but to get other people on, so our community, our board can reflect our community with diversity, with people that care, with everything. We just want it to be inclusive to everybody, not just people that just want to have control in a title. So I'm going to make sure that I stay close and stay involved with everything that happens moving forward with Trainer. But I saw the need in the school board with what's happening with the violence and the kids of color, especially being thrown out the district with no type of help or support or resources, and we're just being told, oh, well. And that's not good enough for me. And it was bad enough to the point where I had to pull my own kids, 2 of my own kids, out of the district. So that was the last straw for me. So that's why I made the decision to actually go forward and give up my position to run for school board. But I'm sure that, once I get done what I'm doing in the school board, whatever God has planned for me, I just work here. That's all I say. It's just, I know it's not my plan, and I know everything happens in timing. So I'm just kind of going with the flow, but actually just staying involved and staying educated and informed. That's why I move around a lot and network a lot, to just try to make sure that I understand and talk to people and give them ideas and get ideas from them. It's all about, our youth when it comes down to it. That's the reason why I actually got involved in the beginning, because I saw how the people in council in the beginning were treating the kids, And I saw that there was nothing changing. There was nothing there for the children to do. Everybody wanted to complain, but nobody stepped up to the plate. Mm-hmm. So now that's where we are. We're doing great. We're actually working on getting water access, which is a big deal, like a waterfront in Trainer, because we have property over there, and we're working with Monroe to make that happen for the children. So we have that same experience.
Let me be the first to say this. That's awesome, but I need you to realize that at some point y'all may be paying the stormwater tax like we pay.
Yeah.
Because we pay stormwater tax because we have all of that waterfront and all of our. They say our pollution and stuff runs down, and we need to be able to, I guess, have a plan or resources if something takes place. Yeah. But that wasn't properly explained to us initially when, we were hit with the stormwater fees. Yeah,
we are definitely like looking into any and everything that could come back.
Waterfront is prime real estate, but I just want you to be prepared.
Yes, definitely.
That, that stormwater situation may be coming.
Yeah, we just actually got a grant for stormwater, so I know we definitely want to make sure all that's in place, but that's something that we always looked at because we have the property already. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wait, Marcus Hook has a waterfront, Chester has a waterfront, and we're in between with a junkyard.
Yeah, sometimes we can't utilize our waterfront because somebody else is there utilizing it.
Yeah,
and
that bothers me,
but am I giving away too much, y'all? What obstacles have you faced in your previous journey and kind of in this journey where you're trying to venture into another position wholeheartedly to, assist and help the kids?
It's always been that restraint there where people don't want to accept people or get to know things that are, or people that are different. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to keep it real. Our area is very diverse, but everybody that's in any type of leadership position, for the most part, is Caucasian. And it's been that way for years. And sometimes when people see people that are different than them and they don't know them, it's kind of hard until they get to know you and see, we actually have to prove ourselves, opposed to just being, I'm qualified, I'm here. We have to prove ourselves. So that's the difference. So I had to literally prove myself to be, accepted and stay consistent and just be a woman of my word with everything, which I'll do anyway. But it's just like I had to be on my game 24/7. And it was rough because they would try to shut me down, push me away. Even now running for school board, I get threats, I get emails, I get told I'm a troublemaker for standing up for the kids, for the violence in our school. I get bashed constantly because I'm the big mouth, or they call me the angry black woman. That's what they call me.
That title that we all love to hate.
The angry black woman.
Wow. Only because you're speaking up for what's right.
Yeah, and it's just like I never go in with an attitude. I never go in. Just because my voice is strong and I don't back down, I'm the angry black woman. How about I be the compassionate, frustrated mother, or bus driver or whatever you want to call me. But why does my color have to come into play every time?
Because I think for the most part, when they see us, they don't see humans.
Right.
They see something that they want to defeat. They see something that they want to hurt. And, if we look at today's times where our children are going to the wrong homes and not just knocking on the door or ringing the doorbell, and you're being blasted through a screen door and almost killed, and by the grace of God, you make it through. Like, they don't look at us as human. So, when we look at our title of Angry Black Woman, because I'm sure that all of us has been labeled at some point, maybe we've been told to our face, or maybe it just was said in a meeting that we didn't even know about. Right. But for the most part, we as people have to learn to just brush it off and keep pushing. And, that hurts them more when they see that you're still moving forward.
And when they can't take you out of character, that kills them. Yeah. And that's with me. That's I'm not going to be in there screaming and hollering at you people. I'm going to make you, if anything, embarrass yourself.
Absolutely.
Say, no, look at you,
Or don't say nothing at all. And they be mad when, because silence kills a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
So when you sit there and you don't say nothing and they like,
it's not worth it. Every action doesn't deserve a reaction. And I tell my kids that all the time. Sometimes you just got to let things go. People are going to talk about you regardless. They're going to make up lies on you regardless. And as long as you know, and the people around you and the people that matter know the difference, that's it. That's all.
That's all that matters. What motivates you to do this work? Because I see you all over the place. You're a shop steward. You out there dancing with the Easter Bunny. Getting the people, not more so the kids, but the people, everyone motivated, trying to get them acclimated with you like they don't already know you. But let me give you another part of Jen, so to let you know that I'm real passionate about what I'm trying to do, so I can get on this school board. So what motivates you for the most part?
I like to see people happy. I like to see people doing good. I like to see people happy. I mean, I try to help as many people as I can in many different ways. It can go from me, which I just came from dropping off food to people in my area, and just anything I can do to help somebody to make them okay, I'm okay with that. And shop steward, you know, that's been rough. I've been doing that since I worked in Philadelphia, and that was just really something that I saw the jobs taking advantage of people, and I didn't like that. And I'm like, hey, you know, we need somebody to represent us that's going to actually represent us. Mm-hmm. So, you know, let me be that voice, because I don't got a problem with it. I'm going to come with the facts, and I'm gonna have them laid out for you in black and white. And that's how I always move. So, like a lot of things, I work for Wallingford, a lot of things come through there where, you know, the people were like, you're not going to be able to do that. I say, give me a couple of days. Let me get all the resources together. And
Let me get it all together.
Make sure I have everything so I can say here, and then why is this happening? And that's how I am even on council. They told us we couldn't do something. Okay, let me talk to this solicitor. Let me get this information from this solicitor over there, too, so I can match it up. Because I want to know. It's got to be a way. That's my way of thinking. It's got to be a way.
Yeah.
And then my girls motivate me more than anything. My 6 daughters. I have 2 in college, and 1 works at Wallingford with me. But they motivate me every day, because them just being proud of me, being a single mom of 6, and being able to do these things still, and still see my kids, you know, grow up and be successful is awesome for me. That's enough for me.
That is enough. 6 girls, 6 set of estrogen.
I don't know how I'm not crazy.
So how do you balance work, motherhood, while also being an elected official?
That was hard at first, but I found a new avenue, a way to look at it, and that was by involving my kids in everything I do for the community. When I'm in council mode or whatever you want to call it, I have them right there with me. My daughters, 2 of them are on junior council. I have every event that we do, they're there, they're helping, helping the rec board. We have Dream Team, a group of kids and trainer that come out, 20 teenagers, and they're involved. So I keep the kids close to me and involved. Like when other people are doing things on the weekend, we're doing an event. And they like to do it. They like to have fun. And I make sure that even if they're working hard during the day, they know afterwards we're going to have a party afterwards. And we're going to have, you know, music and whatever they like. We're going to have that. And food. They want me to cook for them. They always put me to work in the kitchen. So I have to cook for them. And then just keep them close to me and make sure they understand why I'm teaching them these customer service skills, because you can use them. And people look at it as like, oh, you make your kids do that? My kids get up on their own and say, Mom, what we doing today? What we got to do today? And they like it. And they like learning them customer service skills. My one daughter has a hard time with social skills, but it helped her so much just being able to serve the community and work in a pantry and work in a state like she felt like I'm in charge of something. And it was like, it made her feel good about herself. And her ways started to change. And now she's better with people in general. So it helped them all the way around by keeping them close. And like I said, even when I worked on a bus, my kids rode the bus with me. It was on the back of the bus when I worked in Philly. So they were on the bus with me when they dropped them off at school, go do my route. It was always right there with me. I kept them close. And that was the only way that I made it through with them.
Awesome. So what was it like when you had to send your 2 daughters off from what they've known, all of their activities, and just their overall surroundings? What was that like for you?
When I had to relocate my kids, that hurt more than anything, because my kids never been away from me. They know their dad, they love their dad, but they just never been in a position where they had to live with them. And all they know is mom, for the most part. And they wanted to be home, and they wanted to continue to do the things they love, but it just wasn't safe. It wasn't safe for them. It wasn't safe for me, because I was at the point where, like, I'm just over it. And I was like, I can't get in trouble. I don't want my kids getting in trouble. I need to put them somewhere safe, you know, until we figure this out. So I let them stay with their dad, and they go to a different district now. So that way, you know, I have them out my way, and hopefully I can restore some type of peace within the district and then bring them back home so they can continue their last couple of years in school where they know and they love, and they can actually play their instruments, be in color guard, because they all been involved in these things since elementary.
Wow.
So now they were snatched out of it and told to stay home for their own safety. I don't think that's an acceptable explanation from any district. Statement from any district.
So that was the solution.
Yeah, stay home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All I can say is wow. Because
Yeah, that's what I said. Are you serious? Like keep them home? Like, and then what? Like, when are they going to be able to come back?
Yeah, what's
the
solution?
No solution, and they just stopped even responding. Ms. Frazier, we don't know what to tell you. Maybe you can send them to charter school.
Are there any charter schools in Chichester?
No, they told me to send them to Chester charter schools.
Oh, and how were you supposed to do that?
But I think the district has to pay.
Did they want you to move?
No, the district would have to pay if they relocate to a charter school. The district will pay. But it's just like, why are my kids?
The district have to initiate it, because if you were to do it and you still live there, then they could try to find you and all
Definitely.
that. Because their address. Wow.
Yeah, but if
I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, it's rough, and it was really rough. And my daughter would cry all the time. I want to come home. I want to come home. One of them actually packed her stuff, put it in her sister's truck, and came home on her own. And I'm like, what are you doing here? So I mean, it was really rough at first. Now they're a little better, and their grades are really good, but they don't have the outlet anymore. They don't have their, band and everything else that they were doing here. So that bothers me a lot. And I'm looking back at all the pictures of them doing their activities, and it's just like nothing now. I don't have an event to go to, a competition on Saturday anymore, and that bothers me a lot.
Wow, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm sorry the kids had to go through that.
Yeah, it's rough.
Just keep them home, or just send them to a charter school. That's the solution.
That's what they think of our kids.
Wow, not Chester Upland School District.
No, we're talking about Chichester.
Just send them to the charter.
Yeah,
like wow. All I can say is wow. Yep. That's very disheartening.
But that comes from lack of diversity.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They don't want to understand our kids. They don't try to understand our kids. They don't care about our families. They don't try to understand our families. It's just like, this is what it is, and that's it. Wow. We can't do nothing for you.
That's very disheartening.
Yeah, it is.
So what is your ultimate goal, just in life, period? Without the elected official positions, without having to battle every day with these folks over here, what is your ultimate goal?
Just to be able to relax and get out of fight mode. I don't know if you get it. I'm sure you understand
I get it.
That. I want to be out of fight mode. I feel like I've always been, even as a teenager, just defending myself or in some type of way, whether it be physical, whether it be however, I'm always defending myself or somebody else or protecting. I feel like I want to just be able to relax and say, okay, I can live a little now. I don't have to worry about these things anymore. So I guess retirement definitely would be something that I can't wait for, just to be at peace and just not have all these extra worries and weight on me, because it's like, I feel like I don't want to be on school board. I have to.
Yeah. I
have to. It's not even an option at this point. Listening to so many parents, they call me daily with these stories similar to mine. And it's just, it breaks my heart that the kids are being thrown out left and right like this. It breaks my heart that there's nobody for us to turn to.
So do you feel like, let me go back. So is it just our kids it's happening to?
No, it's actually is all kids throughout the district. I mean, the parents that have reached out to me lately, for the most part, have been parents of Black children that's been expelled. And there's a lot.
So do they have the same rule over there as everywhere else, where it's like a 30-day wait period and then you figure it out on your own?
Well,
or do they set up something?
After, I think it's 30 days, and they had the hearing, and then 30 days they're out, and I guess they get work from home. Work from the school, sent home, and then they figure it out after the hearing, which then at the school board meeting they vote on it.
So I wonder what happens to those children who don't have a structured home? Someone that doesn't care about them. Yeah.
They fall through the cracks, and I've seen it happen so many times. I spoke to one kid like a couple weeks ago, and he's like, I'm just going to get my license, Miss Jenn, and get a job. I'm not going back to that school ever. They keep kicking me out.
Wow.
And he was a white kid, so it's like it's happening to, there's no resources over that side at all. And then the district is refusing to even reach out for resources or accept the resources given to them. So I want to know why are you refusing these things while our kids suffer?
Wow.
And that's for all of the kids. It's not, just, it's happening to the kids that aren't protected or in the cliques of the parents that are involved with the district or in some type of way.
Well, I'm sure that these kind of conversations are brought up at the school board meeting. So how do they respond to that?
They shut us down. We got 3 minutes, first of all. By the time you say your name and your address and everything, you got about 2. And then, it's just like they on it to say, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. They don't ever respond to anything, or we'll get back to you. Never respond to anything you say. They cut you right off. They're very rude and nasty. And it's just a bad setup all the way around. And it's like, you guys work for us. And when I said that to them, what their response were? We don't work for you. We don't get paid. You get paid as a council person. We do this for volunteer. I said, when I say work for you, you took this job, you took this
as
title
a servant, yeah,
as a servant, and you're supposed to provide a service.
Yes.
You work for the community. You were voted for by the people, for the people, not by the district. You're not hired by the district either. Therefore, you're supposed to represent the community. Wow. And that has not been happening. They're just as bad as the superintendent. So it's just like the attitudes, the way they cut the parents off is, if you watch on their live stream how they talk and respond to the parents, it's clear. Like, they have no type of professional training whatsoever. And that needs to change.
And their reasoning for that is because they're not paid.
I
wonder how they would act if they were paid.
Yeah, because it's just like, who would even say that to the community? Well, we don't get paid for this. Okay, that's not a reason for you to be nasty to us. You decided to sit in that seat. Nobody forced you to be there. You voluntarily got in that seat.
Wow.
So, I mean, that attitude needs to stop, because you have to understand that these same people you're talking to elected you. And they can make sure that you don't get elected next time. And that's what needs to happen from the people. They need to realize that these are the same people you keep re-electing. Stop re-electing the same people that aren't working for you. And that goes from any type of situation, the council, the whatever, the mayors, whatever. Don't re-elect the people that aren't working for you. That's where we're losing out. That's why we're messing up. If it's not any positive change happening, you have to change the way you're voting.
Yeah. Because I often think of it like, I know for even at our council meeting. Now, I don't recall me ever being at a school board meeting, but I do know that I'm very frequent at our council meetings. And same 3 minutes. So I've learned that, we used to have to say our name and our address. So you only have to say that now if you get up if you want to speak on the agenda items. Okay. If you want to speak public comment regular, you write your name on a sign-in sheet. Okay. So you're basically not giving out your personal information, which I feel like is so...
Yeah, I don't think people should have to do that either. I never thought that was right. Yeah. What if somebody doesn't like me? Now I just gave them my address and they can
meet me there.
My house. Yeah.
So what I do is I say all my questions, and then I feel like my 3 minutes don't start till they start talking. So once they start talking, now I can ask more questions. Yeah. So I've already figured out the blueprint to the game, because at the end of the day, it's no need of being hostile. It's no need to get upset. You got to beat them at their own game.
Definitely.
Because realistically, if you look at the sign-in sheet and there's 3 people on there, you still giving these 3 people, each one of them 3 minutes?
Right.
Like, what if a person is coming there to speak for the community?
Right.
Well, I've gathered all these questions.
Yes.
And,
And we tried that too.
I've gathered all these questions.
My mayor came in there and she's like, and then you know what they said to her? Why are you here? She said, because my parents have came to you guys for help. My constituents have came to you, and nobody's responded back from them, email, phone, or nothing from the schools or from administration. So they contacted me as an elected official, and now I'm here. I want to know what the problem is and why you're not getting back to them. And they said, well, it's not your place to be here. Like, what?
Wow.
That's how they talk to our mayor. No respect whatsoever. And I'm right there with her. I'm like, I'm trying to understand what you mean by that, because our people come to us. We're, if they can't get through to you, we're the elected officials that's supposed to stand up and step in for them. And if we can't get to you, guess what? We're going to the county. And if they can't get to you, we're going to the state. And we're going to keep moving up and up until we get somewhere, and change is going to come regardless.
So what power does the school board have, and what can they do to rectify any of this stuff that's going on inside the schools? So the power... Like, there's so much help out here in Delaware County. And after, we had the meeting with, I can't think of the superintendent of juvenile justice, we learned so much of what we can do, what the district can do. And they're not even trying to reach out for these resources, because they don't want to be categorized with the targeted schools, which I can't understand for nothing. Why not get the help if we need it? You're too focused on the image of the district trying to be something that it's not. I don't care what it was. It's not anymore. We're diverse. It's here. I don't know what you're trying to prevent from looking like, but it don't sound good what you're saying. And my point is to them, you have to stop worrying about the image. Yes, we have a nice basketball team. Yes, we have
other sports that are great, but we can deal with that after you fix the violence and the bullying in our schools because it's out of control. And they just bypass all that and say, you guys are ruining our image. That's all they care about. And that's a problem for me because my child's life comes first. Mm-hmm. And all children's lives should come first. Mm-hmm. If you're sitting up there especially. That should be the reason you're up there is for the kids. That's what you're saying.
And if the platform is to come to the school board meeting and speak out,
right.
see what can be done, I shouldn't be shunned away because I'm just coming here to ask a few questions.
Right. And even if they were to say, well, Ms. Frazier or to my mayor, we'll talk to you after the meeting or we'll set up something to meet with you as an elected official. It's just like they brush me up. Oh, that's how you feel? Okay, now I'm going to go way over your head. Because that's what happens next. And then you're still going to have to answer to me some type of way and to the parents of the community. Because that's your job. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to hold you accountable.
That is a job that you were elected to do.
And I'm going to hold you accountable one way or another.
Paid or not paid.
I'm going to call your boss now.
So since you're running for school board, I'm pretty sure it's not a cheap entity. So how can people support you if they want to support your campaign? Tell the audience.
If they want to support, we have an account set up. I can share the link for it. Mm-hmm. I can't think of it. It's Trainer Primary. I don't want to say it wrong. It's Trainer Primary GOP. So it's set up under GOP, but that's going straight to my campaign. Everything right now because everybody else is taken care of and already running. So hopefully, if anybody does want to support me, they can just contact me, and I'll send you the link for that as well. But I really appreciate anybody that does.
And what about those that want to maybe support with boots on the ground?
Oh, I would love that. I'd rather have that any day because I feel like signs and stuff don't win elections for me. Mm-hmm. I'm up close and personal. I like to be with the people. I like to talk to the people. I like to go out door knocking and be in the mix all the time. So if you want to come out, we're going out again this Saturday. Probably every Saturday until the election. We'll probably be outside either Saturday or Sunday. And hopefully people will come out and support and help because Chichester really needs to understand that we're not playing. We're coming full force, and we want our kids, all of our kids, not the selected few. We want all of our kids to feel comfortable and safe in their learning environment.
So when you're elected, because I never want to say if, when you're elected, because we always want to think forward.
Yes.
What are some of your plans? Minimum. I don't want you to give out the major ones. Mm-hmm. What are your minimum plans? Because I don't want you to get a blueprint out to the people. Might be somebody ain't supposed to be watching.
Yeah, they already stole my campaign.
There you go. So what are your minimum plans that you want to try to put in place to protect the children, to try to move the district forward, so not just this group of kids over here feel safe, the entire district feels safe?
I wanna bring inclusion. I want everybody to feel inclusion. So the way our district is separated, we got Upper Chichester by themselves. We have Lower Chi, Marcus Hook, and Trainer completely separated, and we definitely can feel the vibe. We get left out of everything. We're never included, even down to the police departments. They get left out of everything. Everything is focused on Upper Chi because the schools, actually, the premises are on Upper Chi, in Upper Chi. So we get left out of everything. So I definitely want to include inclusion and make sure that they understand that that's a big deal. People need to feel included. They need to feel like they're part of the district. They need to have that same pride that the people in Upper Chi have. Right now, our kids don't feel that on our end.
Oh, wow.
Our kids are the ones that are left out. They're the ones that can't get to the sports. Maybe we need to find a way to get them to the sports activities after school too, because some of them don't have parents at home at that time. Some of them don't have transportation or don't know how to catch the bus.
Yeah.
We have to figure out what the problem is, why our kids are doing these things, why they have so much idle time. I want to dig deeper into that, and I'm already jumping into that part on a community side by starting the community courts back and by just trying to get with the kids to see what they want and need in the neighborhood so we can bridge the gap between the schools and the community, which is a big deal. They have to work hand in hand. The schools and the community definitely have to work hand in hand. They have to understand that if they're doing it in schools, they're doing it in the community. If they're doing it in the community, they're doing it in schools, whether it's negative or positive. So we got to make sure we keep pushing the positive and bringing more ideas and stuff and making sure that the diversity is there as well, where the kids of color feel included and they don't feel targeted. They're not, kids are taught, you know, sensitivity. Maybe they need to do a sensitivity course or assembly for the kids as well, because you got too many kids running around using the N-word like it's normal, and then our children get upset by that, and now you got a fight on your hands, or you know, or worse. And we need them to understand, like, these things are not okay.
Yeah.
They're not okay. You know, and they brush it off as it being nothing, but then when their kid gets attacked, it turns different. So we need them to understand, you know, that these things have to be addressed. They can't be ignored anymore. We're diverse. It's not going to change. We're not going anywhere. You have to learn how to be more sensitive to the people and teach them how it's okay to be around different people of all colors. Mm-hmm. It's okay to work together. It's okay to have friends of all colors. And they need to understand that, because it's not that way right now. The separation is really bad. And even with the punishment, having consistency with the repercussions when they do misbehave in the school, it has to be consistent. They have these policies that they don't follow whatsoever. That needs to be addressed. If the admins are not following these policies, then somebody needs to be, over the top of them, needs to be addressing that. Why are you not doing your job? Hold these people accountable. They need to be held accountable at every level for their job, for all of them.
So one thing that we all do know is school is, number one, very important. Number two, you know, it's mandatory basically. Mm-hmm. So it makes me wonder, why is it so easy to put any child out of a school that's already by law mandatory?
Yeah, and then they turn around and charge you with truancy.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of backwards to me too. They're quick to throw them out without resources, without preventive measures. But, you know, then you're giving me truancy, from even with me keeping my daughters home for their safety like they requested me to do. And my kids getting truancy letters now. Like, why is that? Why can't you protect her when she's under your care as a school district? You know, you're supposed to make sure my child is safe. Now,
actually, they're supposed to make sure the child is safe from the time they leave your front door.
Right. And
so they get back home from that school back to your front door. Right. Because that's like if you do something during school hours, and depending on what the situation is, you can be charged a certain way.
Oh, definitely.
And that's the same with the district. Like, it's your responsibility whether they're getting on that school bus, whether they walk in the school. It's your responsibility.
So. You know what they're saying at the meetings, and with a couple parents, they get to stand up at the meetings and say, it's the parents. Stop blaming the district. It's the parents. No, it's the district. When my kid is in their care and my child is being locked in a classroom with a teacher while 3 girls threaten her, you telling me that's the parents' fault? No, that's the teacher's fault, because number one, she should call 911, or she should have called a resource officer up to escort them children, not my child, to interrupt her education, which is a problem. They take the kid that's the victim out of class, interrupt their education, and then you have the 3 kids that were misbehaving still there to mess with somebody else.
Oh, wow.
That's just backwards to me. And there's no services for the victims when they come back, if they were actually assaulted.
If they come back,
yeah, because some of them have their anxiety where they can't come back, and it's bad because some kids just really can't walk. They have the fear of walking from class to class. Oh my God, like, am I going to get jumped, or am I going to get knocked over, stampeded on? Like, it's just a mess.
So all of this that takes place in the district, does it spill over into the community?
Very much so. Very much so. And that's another side of it that I've really been trying to tackle, because I feel like these elected leaders need to jump in and be more verbal and be more involved. And, I mean, they get upset with me for saying that, but it's the truth. I mean, why are you here? This is your town. You're supposed to lead the town, you know, and make sure that everybody is safe, everybody is comfortable, everybody is following the rules, following the ordinances. This is your job that you chose to do. I don't understand why people take positions and then don't do the job.
I think for the most part, people take positions for their own selfish gain.
Yeah,
even if it's not a paid position, right? They take it for their own selfish gain. Like, you know, me as a voter, just for an example, you know, I don't want to see a person just pop up when it's election time.
Right.
Like, I want you to be doing the work the whole time, even if it's something minor, something minimum. Like, and when you're running, have a solution for the problem that we already experiencing.
Yeah, we already know what the problem is.
Don't tell me, oh, well, you know, I still got work to do. Right. Well, what is that?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you
should have been working the whole time.
You've been in this position for how long?
And this is where I'm at. That's how I look at it.
Exactly.
I haven't got on yet, but I'm already in motion.
Exactly.
As you can see. And I'm in motion in the community, because I do understand that it goes back and forth, it spills back and forth. But in our community, I can say, like, our police are very supportive. So we have, we're not perfect. Yes, we do have incidents in training, but when we do, we address it. We look at it and we see what could have been done different. How can we prevent it? We do all of that so it doesn't happen again. We try to prevent anything. If anything negative happens, we try to prevent it from happening again. And these places, the other two towns have to be on the same accord. So if we're all, all our towns are on top of this, our police are on top of this, we can tackle it from the home side. And now, the parents, you can't make somebody be a parent.
No, you can't.
You can't force these people to be parents. And when it comes down to it, if you gotta, get the parents some help, some parenting classes, call CYS, worst case scenario, whatever you gotta do, you gotta do. When you start taking money from a person, you have to.
It wakes them up real fast.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that every time a bill comes in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
It wakes me up real fast.
Oh, yeah. But then they're like, the school district, well, they don't pay it anyway. I'm like, okay, so then
That's when you move on to step 2.
Yeah, we need to bring back the community courts where the community has to pick for the kid to do some community service or something like that. And we have to have some type of repercussions other than that, too, directly hitting the kid. Mm-hmm. Because that way they understand, I can't just do that. They're going to make me pick up trash or they're going to make me paint this table. We have to have something in place.
But then we have to find the alternative for that child that's not going to absolutely do nothing. And we know we've all experienced those. Yeah. Because if you have, like you said, your daughter was locked in the room with the teacher, and you have 3 young ladies or whomever at the door trying to get in this room, in that moment,
they were in the room though. Oh. They were in the room, and teacher. So I'm driving the bus. I pull over because my daughter was like upset, like, Mom, this teacher, I'm locked in this room, and these girls are trying to fight me, and I can hear the teacher still teaching, and I'm like, all right, wait, the teacher in the room with you? She's like, yes. I said, she didn't call for help. I said, all right, I'm gonna call you back. I tried to call the main office. I tried to call the SRO. Nobody answered me, so I called back up to my daughter, and I'm like, listen, put that lady on the phone now. She's like, Mom, she's teaching. I don't care. Put her on the phone. So she gave her the phone. She said, Miss Frazier, I'm going to walk her down. I said, you're not walking her anywhere. You're going to call for help for my daughter because them kids will beat you up too. I said, they're going to jump you in her. You need to call for somebody because if somebody touches my kids, it's going to be a problem. So you need to call downstairs and you need to get somebody to come up and remove them kids or at least remove my daughter for the moment until you get it under control. Well, it was just like they were screaming and hollering over top of her teaching.
What are the issues with it?
From the kids' side?
Yeah, period. Like, what? Like, it's okay, so they just come in one day and say, okay, well, this is our new target. We're going to get this kid.
Basically.
Oh, my God.
I think, and a lot of kids transfer in from different places, like outside towns, Philly, Upper Darby, Chester. They just come in, and it's like they got to earn their spot. Mm-hmm. They got to be like, I'm running this place. And that's how it was, even when they had to.
So it's jail. You being Debo
yeah,
now.
That's how it is. God. It's like, or you get the kids that the parents don't take care of them as far as their hair and stuff. And, some of the kids that don't look as kept are the ones that'll start with the other kids. I noticed that, like I'm looking at these kids and I'm like, wow, like how is she talking about you? And then she looks like that. But I'm trying to figure out, not in the bed, I'm just trying to process like how their way of thinking is. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, what's the reason?
Yeah, what is the reason?
I remember you had said that you had went to one of the young ladies' houses.
Yeah, I did.
And the young lady didn't even know your daughter's name.
No, not one clue. And she said, well, I heard she was talking about me. I said, do you know her? No, I don't know her. Like, what? So you drop your book bag. But this is where I have a problem at. The girl was able to drop her book bag, jump in my daughter's face. The teacher comes out the room, go to class. If that happened at that point, that should have been documented. She should have got a referral for being aggressive. Mm-hmm. Right then and there. So they understand we're not going to tolerate it. That aggression is, and then because the problem with that was the teacher didn't report it, right? So my daughter goes back to the class. My daughter said, she's still bothering me, Mom. And I'm like, okay. I said, I called downstairs. I talked to him. He wants you to come to the office to talk to them. She goes downstairs to the office to talk to the SRO and make a report. By the time she comes back up, there's 3 more girls to fight her, to jump her outside the room. So he has to run up. And luckily I had a cell phone number. And I'm like, yo, you need to go upstairs and get my daughter because I'm about to flip. And it's just like, this is from the teachers not documented. If they would have handled it right the first time, It wouldn't have got that far. It went from 1 girl to 3 because they didn't report it. They didn't send that girl for a referral. She felt like she could do what she wanted to. She went back and got more people involved, and that's how it happens over and over again.
I hear you saying referral process, resource officer, all those beautiful things. Mm-hmm. So there is things in place. They're just not being utilized.
But the crazy part about it is, I would, as a parent that didn't have the direct lines, I would have been in trouble. My daughter would have got jumped. When you call the schools, nobody answers.
Wow.
So I
They
called
don't
his cell
answer.
phone. That's what I'm saying. I called the SRO cell phone because I know him. So that's the only reason why I was able to receive help.
Wow.
But it shouldn't be like that because a parent on a regular day, they don't have that option.
Or what if you at work and the child can't get you on the
Yeah.
phone?
Right.
Now they fighting for their life. Now they about to be suspended.
Right. And that's the thing. They both get suspended.
Then they're gonna lose their sports and all
Which
the stuff
I
that
feel
they're
like
doing.
needs to be changed at the state level, because if you can defend yourself as an adult in the street by law, why are our kids told they can't defend themselves in the school?
Yeah, it is a double standard.
Like that bothers me. Why can't my child defend themselves without being punished if somebody's attacking them? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that they go up and throw the first punch. That's on you. You deserve what you get. I'll tell my daughters that in a minute. Do not throw the first punch. But if you have to protect yourself, protect yourself. But when they do protect themselves, they're getting thrown out of all their activities. And the other kids don't care because they don't do activities. So they don't care whether, they get suspended or not.
So once they have their little break with the activities, that kid can go back and resume their life because they don't even have
they get like a 30-day privilege denial.
Yeah.
So like,
but if you don't have any privileges, you really not doing no 30-day
she's
privilege
missing her
denial.
whole month of ban, and this kid is just like, I got 3 days off.
Wow.
Or however many days off for suspension. So it's not fair to our children that they have to be punished for protecting themselves.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair at all. And I know that's something bigger than the district. That's a state law. So that is something that needs to be addressed.
Well, maybe get your state rep on board.
I've met with her. She's met with the school district, I think she said a couple weeks ago.
Because she's the closest thing to the state.
Yeah, I met with her. I met with the council chair, Monica Taylor, about this. I met with the DA. I've been to everybody.
And what were their thoughts?
Just we don't want to
intervene.
No solid answers. It's always, we'll work on it. We'll see what we can do. I don't like to, I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes or what they're telling. Because a lot of times, and I know for a fact, the state rep did give some information to the Chichester district for them to get resources. Have they followed through with it? No.
Wow.
That's the problem. So somebody has to hold them accountable at a higher level. Somebody has to hold them accountable at this point. They have to do the research, see what's going on with the incident reporting and everything, and just research what's going on and what we need to get our kids some help.
Yeah. Wow. Woo, that's heavy.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
That makes me sit here and think like, you really ready for this job?
Ooh, it's rough.
That's all I'm thinking. Like, you really ready for this job? That's a lot.
It is a lot,
especially when when your actual power is very limited.
Right.
And to know everything that's going on and know what needs to be done.
But I feel like your power is only as limited as you make it, because there's ways around everything. If I can make moves, with Finn, to get help for our district, offer them whatever they need, and they still turn it down, I'm still able to get you what you need from my position and offer it to you and bring people to the table, bring everybody together in all the communities. I did all that for them. All they had to do was be on board, but they refused to. So now the biggest power is in the people, the community.
Yeah.
If they're behind you like they're supposed to be, and this election happens and we get the right people, and that's the thing. I can't get up there by myself. I'm gonna need people to back me up there that's gonna be on the same, page as me and ready to get some positive change for these kids, which I have a nice slate that are ready to work. And we've been doing a lot of research and working together with a lot of people. But it's just like, we need the community to wake up and say, listen, this is enough.
Yeah, that's everywhere. Enough. That's everywhere.
And it's hard to get people. And it's like, do you see what's going on?
They do.
Aren't your kids over there struggling? Girl, if you don't get up and vote.
The weirdest thing is, people only react when it directly affects them. If it does not directly affect them,
sometimes it's like it's not going to do anything anyway. The attitude has to change. Mm-hmm. It's not going to do anything anyway. How would you know if you never try?
Exactly. So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, hopefully a little bit more at peace, because the kids will have some type of structure or peace for them. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see some changes where I know we can't stop all the violence and bullying. That's going to happen everywhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure incidents are going to happen, but then we can call them isolated incidents instead of saying it now when they're happening like every other day. I want to be able to, see the kids going to school, being kids, enjoying themselves. I want to be able to see resources in our communities for the kids that are victims, because we have nothing for the victims. We always focus on reform for the kids that are having problems, and we need to focus on the victims as well, because they're being skipped over. And it may be just, they need counseling. It may be anything, because they're affected too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just even if it's a kid threatening them or making a page, they got Instagram pages, Facebook pages teasing the kids.
I'm sure they're fake.
That is bad. That messes with these kids mentally, and that is just as harmful as physical damage.
Absolutely.
So it's just seeing some more resources and everything, and just seeing all my kids graduate, so I don't have to deal with mine directly. I could be a little bit more in tune, because my kids hopefully be out of school by then. Yeah.
Wow.
For the most part.
Okay, so I want to thank you for gracing me with your presence on state. Straight to the point, of course.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure you're going to do well in this upcoming election on May the 16th. I wish you the absolute best. I hope that, everything works out the way it's supposed to work out, because that's the only thing that we can actually hope for, is that everything works out the way it's supposed to work out. I hope and pray that, more resources are provided to those 3 different areas, because people don't even realize that, you have Trainer, Chichester, Upper Chichester, right?
And Marcus Hook.
Yeah. So it's 4 different entities,
four
all
towns.
Intertwined into
4
one
towns into
situation. And if all of those 4 collaboratives do not meet up, have productive conversation, and wait and try to come up with ways to move forward.
It's not us. That attitude has to change.
Yeah, because if it's not you, tell us what you're doing over there.
But it's all of us.
Yeah, but tell us what you're doing over there, so then we can do it over here, and then it won't be none of us.
Right. I agree.
That's the way I look at it.
Definitely.
So on to this situation with the other part of the show. So in true ad fashion, as y'all can see, I have my Wednesday shirt on, because y'all know today is Wednesday. You may think that I love the color red, but it's not my favorite color, but it does look good on my melanin. So I wore this for Jenn today. So I want to get into some very important dates before I get into anything else that needs to take place when it comes to my show. So let's get into some very, very, very important dates. And I'm going to run them all down. I'm going to go slow so that you can get the information, write it down, rewind the show, do whatever you need to do. But these are some very important dates. And if you can make these very important dates, you need to show up, because rooms are being created for folks, and folks are not taking advantage of those rooms. But I need you folks to come out and get involved and come into those rooms, because oftentimes we never have a seat at the table. Well, I'm providing that seat. And the first provision that I'm providing is community conversations at the Cat Center, 6 p.m. every Monday. So on April the 24th, community conversations will be presenting an intimate conversation with current Councilman Will Morgan. So if you guys don't know, this past Monday we had an open forum at the Cat Center where the incumbents and the candidates that are running for council had a sit down. They had a sit down with the community. They were provided with questions. The questions were brilliant. They answered them to the best of their ability. And, we need more folks to come out to hear this information versus just waiting for the live stream to pop up. Because what people don't realize is when you stream everything live, you're really taking away the integrity of that conversation inside of that room. Oftentimes, you need to be inside that room to gather the information, and then you do what you please with it instead of it being mismanaged and the information just being misconstrued all different ways. On April the 25th is the MFRAC meeting. And for those of you that don't know what the MFRAC meeting is, it's the financial recovery meeting that takes place almost on a bi-weekly basis at 1 p.m. on the Chester Receivers Facebook page. They also now have an Instagram. So if you're not a person that's on Facebook and you're just on Instagram, look them up on Instagram, because they have a page on Instagram as well. So that's 1 p.m. on the 25th MFRAC meeting. On that same day, there will be a virtual candidate forum with the League of Women Voters. Now, for this particular forum, you have to register on the League of Women Voters website. You have to. You have to register. You can leave questions that you may want them to ask. You can also, those are the 2 things that you need to do. Register. They'll send you a link for the meeting, and you just tune in. On the 26th is our actual city council meeting. 10 p.m., their normal time, 10 p.m. In the council chambers. You want to be at that meeting. That is the second to last meeting before the election. Did you hear what I said? The second to the last meeting before the election. Also on that same day, there will be another virtual candidate forum with the League of Women Voters. And this particular one will be the mayor. The one previously will be city council. On May the 1st, the last day to register to vote. Let me say that again for you real slowly. May the 1st is the last day for you to register to vote. For those of you that always say, my vote don't matter, I don't like nobody that's running, we have to get past that. Because if you don't like the people that's running and you feel like you're qualified enough to do the position, I need you to start stepping up. Also on May the 1st will be the part 2 of the in-person candidate forum with the League of Women Voters, again, at the CAT Center. And that will be the mayoral and school board. 2 different entities that will be discussed that same night, the mayor and school board. If you can attend, please come out, attend the meeting so that you can hear what the incumbent is trying to say. You can hear what the 2 candidates are trying to say. And also for school board, for those of you that are not aware, Chichester School Board has 5 seats. 5. But we have 6 people running. I'm going to tell you again, 5 seats, but we have 6 people running. Now, normally in our community, when it comes to the school board, it's like an entity that doesn't matter. Because as we all know, the school board is also under receivership, just like the city is. But what you don't realize about the school board is it does matter. They have a lot of different things and components that they can do to get some things done in our school district. But we also need the parents. We also need the community. We can't just be showing up when we have a problem. We can't just be showing up when they're giving out money. We can't just be showing up, because Johnny said this and Johnny said that. Because just last week there was a Facebook post going around about eligibility for seniors. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you didn't read it. I'm pretty sure a lot of you didn't see it. I'm pretty sure a lot of you did not ask your children what actually took place in that meeting because you weren't there in attendance. We need to start getting involved, people. We need to start getting involved. Also on May the 8th, Community Conversations will be presenting another intimate conversation with the city council candidate, Mr. Fred Green himself. So this is another open forum that you need to come out to, hear what Mr. Green has to say. The 2 conversations that will be held at the CAT Center under the umbrella of Community Conversations will not be streamed live. I always want to try to protect the integrity of the conversation in the room. And oftentimes people don't want to speak up if they see a camera in their face recording them. And people need to start getting disclaimers if we're going to go live in a room full of people and not realize that this person over here or that person over there may not want to be on the camera. I'm just saying. I'm going to just put that disclaimer out there for y'all. Y'all like disclaimers. Y'all like to hear little tactics. I'm going to just give that to y'all. Now, May the 10th, last council meeting before the election. 10 a.m., council chambers again. Last meeting before the election. So I just gave y'all a huge amount of information. Huge. So we got to get out. We got to get out of the narrative of, they didn't give me nowhere to go. I don't know who's running. I don't know this. I don't know that. So I'm going to also give you this information. There are 3 people that are not on the ballot. There's one running for mayor, Mr. Lamont, Chef Lamont, as y'all call him. We have another district justice running, Marilyn Lee. And we also have another council person that's now on the ballot, Mr. William Jones. So, you want to be on the lookout for all of this information. One, because the person that's on the ballot may not be the person you want to vote for. Let me say that again. The person that's on the ballot may not be the person you want to vote for. You need to also realize that there are no perfect candidates. No one's perfect. We're all flawed. So you need to pick a lane and get in it. So, right now is a very important time for our town, our city. It's a very important time. We are one step, not a foot, one step from being disincorporated. Now, I know y'all are sitting in the audience saying, oh my God, they just gonna take our title. It means more than that. But I will say this. Depending on who you vote for, depends on if we get to that disincorporation. Let me say that for you again. Depending on who you vote for, depends on if we get to disincorporation. So you want to make sure you're registered to vote. That's number one. That's step number one. You want to make sure you sit down and you do your due diligence as to who you're going to vote for. That's number two. Number three, if you look online and you get the unofficial ballot and you don't know half the people that's running for Supreme Court, for district justice, for this, for that, do your research. If you got to call your grandmom, if you got to call your Aunt Betty, call somebody. They may know these people. They may know this person is a conniving, They may know this person is a good person, but you need to make the decision, because I'm going to say this again for you. Depending on who you vote for, depends on if we get disincorporated. You also need to show up at the council meeting and ask your elected officials, even if you voted for them or you didn't, because I know some of them I didn't vote for last go around. You need to ask them and you need to plead to them to work with the receiver. Everyone's running around saying, the receiver, he has his own agenda. He's this, he's that. He's the only person that has came into this city and been transparent. He's the only person that I feel cares about where we are and where we're trying to go. So before you start placing the blame on something that you read in the newspaper, do your research. Before before you sit there and say, well, our school district is this and our school district is that, ask yourself what school your child is in. So, when we shift and blame, we need to give everybody their fair share. And we all play a part in this. So we need to pull our bootstraps up and get it together. Now, the first step of getting that together is community conversations on Monday at 6 p.m. at the Cap Center. Because, oftentimes we sit here, we complain, we BS, we moan, we do all these things, and we have no solution behind it. You don't even realize that just one post can make another person or persons not vote for the person that should be up on that seat. When realistically, all you're going to do at the end of the day, when whomever gets voted in, is complain anyway. So, do your due diligence. Look up the unofficial ballot on the county website. Believe it or not, we once were in the Stone Age when it came to our websites and things, but we have an actual good website when it comes to Delaware County. All of the information is right in your fingertips. You know how you have that phone to your face right now? Just go on that phone and look it up. So I do want to let you guys know that there will not be a show airing on the 26th due to me being in Harrisburg lobbying for fair funding for the children. On the 26th, I will be in Harrisburg. Now, I'm not promising y'all that I'm going to be on the front page of the paper because I'm not here to make no headlines. I'm just here to advocate for the children in the town, in the city that I live in. So again, there will be no show on the 26th because I will be in Harrisburg lobbying for the children. Now, I do want to say cheers to me first and foremost. I want to say cheers, to CMP for giving me this platform to even be able to bring you the information that I bring you. And I want to give myself a huge kudos, for season 1 of Straight to the Point. We have just shot 12 episodes from February all the way up until now. We've had massive amounts of guests, from superintendents to people announcing they're running for school board, to more candidates announcing that they're running for school. Well, they're in the mix of running for school board. So, for me, this journey was not easy. I say this journey wasn't easy because, 2 years ago, I was asked to do a show. And I was like, no, that's not me. I've never went live a day in my life. That's not what I do. I like to play the background. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a full-fledged introverted Virgo. And, the average person would say, no, you're not. No, you're not. But only I know who I am. I'm an introverted Virgo. So, if you see me and, as y'all say, her face always look like it's balled up. Well, maybe I'm in deep thought. Maybe you might not be the person for me. Maybe I saw you coming and my face said, let me ball up so you won't say nothing to me. So, when you look at me and you see this person, just know that I have a bigger heart than what you see. Just know that I'm not what you portray me to be. I'm Adelaide Evans, the introverted Virgo. That's me. So I figured I would give y'all that disclaimer because, you know, it's always this tiff and this, that. So process that information that I'm an introverted Virgo. If you need to look it up, look up the title Virgo, look up the word introverted. You got me right there. So please be on the lookout for bigger and better things when it comes to straight to the point. You know, I have been doing a lot of soul searching. I had a sister of mine, you know, sister from another mother, but definitely a sister of mine, you know, had to let me know who I was when I know who I am. But this person had to let me know that you're bigger than what this is. So I say all that to say that, you know, straight to the point is going to evolve. It's going to evolve into something just as beautiful as I am. Yes, and I really don't know what else to say. But I will say this. I gave you guys a long laundry list of things that you can be doing from now up until the election. Don't say we don't know who's running. Don't say we can do better. Because, you know, when we sit and we say we can do better, that means that's you that should be up on that seat if we can do better. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to season 1 of Straight to the Point. I want to thank my beautiful guest, Miss Jenn Frazier over here, you know, for coming on to the show and gracing us with all the tools and jewels that she dropped when it comes to, you know, her life and what she's trying to do and where she's trying to go and who she's trying to be. And in true ad fashion, thank you all for tuning in to episode 12 of Straight to the Point.